What's up guys, Mitch here from the DIYRecordingStudio.com, and today we're going to be looking at the 2500 plus bus compressor from API, this bad boy over here. It's going to be a really fun video. We're going to shoot it out against its plug-in counterparts, a very commonly used one from Waves, and we're going to compare this compressor out on drum bus and mix bus and maybe even instrument bus, and just have a listen to the difference between a piece of hardware and its plug-in counterpart, and see if we're hearing some of the things we've been hearing in all of these shootouts I've been doing lately. It's going to be an awesome video, so let's get into it. So what I have today is a session from a band that I've been working on for a bit called Fist from Newcastle, and they did a live recording and sent me the stems, so I've been working on that.
Strip will do just fine. Any other pattern you can be mine. Freshly shaved or nicely waxed, and I'll be back.
What we're going to do is start on drums. Let's go straight to drums, and what I have is the plug-in and then the hardware loaded up over here. And what we'll do is I'll flip between both. We'll have a listen on drum bus, and we'll have a listen on instrument bus, and then we'll have a listen on the whole master bus and hear if we're hearing some differences. So let's listen to the hardware. And I'm hearing what I typically hear in these scenarios. The cymbals are a bit harsher in the plugin, the transients are a bit pokier in the plugin, whereas the hardware seems to saturate and maybe even clip the transients a little bit more, so it results in a more even sound on the drums. The snare and the kick have a tighter low end to them on the hardware to me, and they're just less harsh in those cymbals and those high frequencies. And this seems to be a recurring theme that we come across here when we compare hardware versus plugins. We'll go to the part of the song where there's some cymbals and then a big snare hit, and we'll listen to the harshness in the cymbals and then the kick, snare, and the difference in the tonalities. So start with plugin. And I think there's a very distinct difference in the tonality of the kick drum. The kick drum has more punch and more tightness to it in the hardware. And yeah, just that kind of harshness and pokiness that comes through in the plugin on the cymbals a little bit as well. Let's bump over to our instrument bus. Let's have a listen to this part in particular, right at the end here. So immediately to me in that part of the song, what I can hear happening is on the instrument bus, the kick drum, the snare drum, the bass and the guitars all start to glue together on the hardware, and it gives this tightness to the whole mix. Whereas in the plugin, we get more separation. So there's more of a separateness to the guitar, the bass and the kick drum in particular, where they just don't glue together the same way. And look, that's maybe not a bad thing. It depends on what you want in your mix. Once again, these are just tools. Remember, through these listening exercises, we're just trying to hear the difference, hear what's going on as a difference between a piece of hardware and its relative counterpart plugin. But yeah, that's what I'm hearing so far. There's this glue and this tightness to the real hardware, and then the opposite in the software in that part of the song. Have one more listen. That's what I'm hearing. Let me know in the comment sections down below. What are you guys hearing? Are you hearing the same things I am, or are you hearing something different? Do you have a preference? Make sure also that you hit subscribe and like. Anyway, the last thing we're going to do is chuck the hardware on the master bus this time and have a good listen to that and hear if there's any differences there as well.
Waxing out feedback. The shower, wash yourself and you will be next. I don't mind a little bit of moth diving. Waxing out feedback. The shower, wash yourself and you will be next. I don't mind a little bit of moth diving. Waxing out feedback. The shower, wash yourself and you will be next. I don't mind a little bit of moth diving.
Cool. And yeah, just once again, I'm hearing similar things. The bus compressor hardware glues the mix a little bit more together. Things get a bit tighter. The transients get a little bit more under control. Whereas with the plug-in, the transients are a bit pokier and everything's a little bit wider, but a bit more separate. And once again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a difference. Just remember, these are different tools. I can't afford 4 of the API 2500s, but I can put 4 of them across my whole mix if that's what I want to do. So like always with plugins versus hardware, there are trade-offs for both. I'm not here to say necessarily that I like one more better than the other. I do really like the hardware. If I'm being honest, like there is a way that hardware seems to saturate the transients a little nicer and holds onto the reverb tails a little nicer and things like that. But you know, I don't know if I'll ever afford a real API 2500. The lesson I think to learn here is what the differences are. And if we want more of the true analog vibe, how do we get that? Or just knowing that maybe there's a little bit more harshness in the actual plugin version. So maybe we need to attenuate mids or use some saturation or use some soft clippers to get more of that true hardware sound. And if we know the differences, then we can better utilize those plugin tools at our disposal as well. Anyway, as always, get into that comment section. Let me know what you guys are hearing. Let me know what you think. Do you hear a difference? Do you not hear a difference? Do you prefer plugin or hardware? There's no wrong answers. Just feel free to have a discussion in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mitch from the DIYRecordingstudio.com. I'll catch you soon.
Moth diving.